Sup guys, today we're going to talk about Python 3 for else loops. So I bet a lot of you guys didn't even know that for loops have an else keyword. I went ahead and got started and created a little for loop here. We're going to loop over a list of names, James, Joe, and John, and we're going to look for and see if anyone is named Joe. So let's see what that looks like right off the bat. So we loop over the names, James and Joe. We found Joe as the second item in the list. So we print it and then it breaks. So that stops the loop and it never prints John. What happens if we're looking for Joey? You'll see that loops over James, Joe, and John, never goes into the if statement, and it never breaks. Let's see what happens if we add our else statement. You'll see that it loops over all three and then goes into the else and prints didn't find Joe. I prefer to think of the else statement as a then statement. Raymond Hettinger in a famous YouTube talk also referred to it as the no break statement. So basically if the loop doesn't break, it'll go into the else statement. So what if we go back to Joe and we know we're going to find him? You'll see that it finds Joe, it breaks, and it never goes into the else statement. Now you may be wondering why I have this else statement at all. So let me show you what it looks like in terms of the syntax if we didn't have that else statement. So let's say found Joe equals false. If Joe is in fact there, we're going to say Joe equals true. And then we're going to have this sort of default statement and say if not found Joe, boom. So we're going to run this. And of course we found Joe, so Joe is true, it breaks. But what if we didn't find Joe? If we went back to Joey, you'll see that we did not find Joe. So this is basically just a longer way to do that else statement. We had to add the extra line up top, we had to add an extra line here, and then a little more verbose syntax here. So if we instead just went back to that else statement, our code is a little bit shorter, a little bit cleaner, and gets to the same result.